Welcome back to Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Ben Troy. Njue Lensa Odingo is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Time for a quick look at what is happening currently in the country and beyond. Not to mention what is happening especially in Nairobi CBD in regards to the protests that have been organized by the Gen Zs. Straight to the news, President William Ruto has assented to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Amendment Bill 2025. The legislation seeks to strengthen Kenya's framework for tackling money laundering, terrorism financing and proliferation financing. The bill, among 10 acts of parliament to address technical compliance deficiencies identified by the Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group, the Financial Action Task Force on Anti-Money Laundering, Combating Terrorism Financing and Combating Proliferation Financing. President Ruto also signed into law the Issuance Professionals Bill, which seeks to streamline regulation of professionals in the insurance sector.
Copies of the Act to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the leader of the majority party in the national sessional process.
Moving on, the bail hearing of 4 suspects in the murder of a 24-year-old businessman Samuel Mugiro at Kapseret in Uasin Gishu County has been scheduled for July the 3rd, 2025. The suspects identified as Dennis Kipto Rono, Elvis Kiptanui, Abiud Bakutwa, and Cornelius Kiplimo Keter arraigned before Judge Emily Ominde. I will be bringing you details in regards to this, but we are also headed to the Milimani Law Courts where, apologies, not Milimani, but Kibera Law Courts in regards to the hearing of the case, the murder case, the Kasipul Member of Parliament murder case, Ongondo where Ruth Wamboi is currently on standby to give us the latest. Over to you, Ruth.
Thank you so much, studio. We are coming to you live from Kibera Locos, whereby you understand the mention for a pre-bail application for the 3 suspects in the case of the murder of Kasipul MP Charles Songondowere was being heard today at the Kibera Law Court before Justice Diana Kavesa. And today, the defense, led by Senior Counsel John Swaka, were applying for the 3 suspects to be released, to have a bail or a bond application today, because they have been in custody now. This is the 50th day since the murder of the MP, which occurred on 30th of April this year. And today, when the matter came up for mentioning, there emerged some objections from the prosecution, citing that the offense by the 3 accused who are before court is very dire, and that they should not be released on bond as since investigations are still ongoing. However, the defense through prosecution counsel John Swaka cited that the 3rd accused, whose name is Emoli Shigali, has lost his mother, who was here when the case was beginning, but the defense stated that due to the pressures of this matter, the mother for the 3rd accused, and the defense was applying that if Shigali can be given an opportunity to attend burial, which has been stated or slated for somewhere next week. However, the Judge Diana Kavesa has declined the application, citing that the third accused has will not be granted the opportunity, since that one will open a Pandora box that has never been witnessed, whereby an accused person who is facing murder charge is allowed to attend burial of their relative. So the judge has refused that the third accused will not attend the burial, and basing on that on 3rd June this year, when the matter came up for mentioning, the third accused threatened the prosecutor, and I will quote by his word, which is stated after the judge said that on that time, that was on 3rd June. The third accused, who is now bereaved, his mother has died, cited that day, and I quote, "Huyu ni nani mwenye hataki tuachiliwe? Huyu tutamuua." Those are the words that the third accused, Shigali Emoli, used in court, and the judge had the sentiments after he declined another application for them to be released on bond. So I think the judge has taken into consideration on the behavior of the accused person while he has been in custody, and even if he gave him and told him sorry for losing his mother, but the wheels of justice as we know it grind very slowly. So he will not be able to attend the burial of his mother, and the father who was in court present here has been told to be given the key to his son's Nairobi office to go and remove his items and take it to Western Kenya, where he resides. The matter now will be mentioned on 17th of July next month, when the probation officer is supposed to bring a report on the 3 accused persons, including Emoli Shigali, who is bereaved. That's when the court will regard or base the arguments from the probation officer on whether he will release them on bond from then. Back to you, studio. I'm following up on this matter very closely, and will update our viewers in our subsequent bulletin. Back to you, studio.
Thank you so much, Ruth Wamboi, there giving us an update in regards to the case pitting the 3 suspects linked to the murder of Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were, who have been formally charged. And the 3, Abel Ochieng, Elias Dave Carlo, William Shigali, and Edwin Odhiambo, have appeared before Judge Diana Mochache and pleaded not guilty. Well, the case continues, as Ruth has informed us, and will be bringing us a more detailed and loaded account of what has transpired at those law courts. But elsewhere, a section of residents in Tana River County are now calling for government's intervention following extreme floods in the region, with thousands displaced from their homes. Speaking during a tour of the area, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Special Programs, Ismail Madei, revealed the government's plan of settling 5,000 households in Tana River County alone following the 2nd and 3rd wave of floods. He further added that the resettlement plan has no timeline, since it depends on availability of resources, but hopefully the process will be completed in the shortest period as possible.
Hapa tumeshaka na tunajenga manyumba na tunaomba serikali watujengee manyumba. Sisi tunataka kuishi hapa permanent, na pia tunaomba serikali itupatie title deed ili tumiliki ardhi yetu hapa.
Zaidi ya families 1700 wameweza kuwa settled katika hii area ya hii county ya Tana River. Wameshapewa mabati, wameshapewa bao, wameshapewa misumari na vifaa vingine vya kujenga. Na sisi tumekuja kukagua na tumejionea kwamba wananchi ambao wamepewa hizo vifaa vya kujenga wamejenga hizo manyumba na saa hii wanakaa vizuri.
In other news, the Kenya WOSA, in partnership with human rights organization, has officially launched an awareness and empowerment campaign in Mandera County in a renewed push to eliminate gender-based violence against women and girls. While addressing women in Mandera, nominated Senator Mariam Sheikh urged the women to speak out and demand justice. Her sentiments were echoed by Mandera East Deputy County Commissioner Solomon Cheboton, who also emphasized that culture should not be used as a shield for injustice.
So there's many of us who are in silence. And GVV, si wanawake peke yake. Also, our men, our boys, they are affected.
Kesi ikifika kwa polisi, let us follow it and produce evidence by being witnesses to these cases. Na hapo tutasaidiana.
To security matters now, where police in Nyandarua County have launched investigations into the gruesome murder of a middle-aged woman who was beheaded by an unknown assailant. The gruesome incident is believed to have occurred during a heavy downpour that may have enabled the attacker to commit the heinous act unnoticed. A blood-stained knife believed to have been used to commit the murder was found abandoned near the fence of her compound.
Shock and grief has engulfed residents of Vatican Estate in Olkalau, Nyandarua County, following the brutal murder of a middle-aged woman identified as Maureen, a mother of 3 who was a vendor in Olkalau town. The assailant is believed to have committed the act during a heavy downpour, taking advantage of the poor weather to mask the attack.
Kulikuwa kunanyesha mvua kubwa, nikatoka nje kuchukua ndoo nitege maji. Nikasikia katoto kakiniita. Kaniambia kuja uone, kuja uone. Kamuuliza nini, wewe kuja. Kukuja napata Maureen amechinjwa na amekufa.
According to the residents, Maureen's body was discovered the following morning after residents noticed her door was open and a trail of blood leading from the house towards the fence.
Nimesikia vibaya sana, nikikuja nimepata amesauliwa, tumekasirika vibaya sana. Na mwenye amefanya hiki kitendo tunataka akamatwe naye pia asiajiriwe. Juu ameacha watoto wadogo sana, watoto 3.
A blood-stained knife believed to have been used in the murder was found abandoned near the fence of her compound. The incident has sparked widespread outrage, with human rights defenders based in Nyandarua County condemning the heinous act.
And this is not the first case. Actually, now these cases are so rampant within Nyandarua County. So we are calling upon the police. Let them move with speed. Let us get the suspects arrested and arraigned in court, and let them face full force of law.
Martini Maslin for Lunchtime News.
Away from that, Busia County has taken a significant step by launching its Child Policy 2025 aimed at addressing the rising cases of child rights violations, including defilement in the border region. During the launch event held at Busende Primary School in Machakos constituency, a part of the International Day of the African Child celebrations, the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Topista Naiti, emphasized that the policy is designed to protect children's rights and shield them from various forms of abuse.
Pushing the civil society to come up with the children's policy, and I'm happy that it's there today, but having the policy is not enough. That policy must be implemented. So the county government and the partners who are present here, we hope that we are going to have a roadmap and action plan on how this policy is going to be implemented.
The theme for this year's celebration, Planning and Budgeting for Children's Rights and Progress since 2010, is a timely reminder that our commitment must be more than words. It must be felt in our budgets, seen in our programs, and experienced by every child in every ward of this county.
And still on matters children welfare, children's rights stakeholders have identified access to quality education, adequate nutrition, healthcare and protection from violence are some of the challenges that children in Northeastern still face. The challenges were identified during the commemoration of the Day of the African Child at Njue Primary School under the theme Planning and Budgeting for Children's Rights. Speakers at the event reiterated the need for concerted efforts from both the state and non-state agencies to address the challenges.
Kenya joined the rest of the world to commemorate the Day of the African Child amidst concerns that challenges and gaps in access to quality education, nutrition and healthcare as well as protection from violence still exist. Held under the theme Planning and Budgeting for Children's Rights, the stakeholders said that prioritizing budgeting for the children and engaging them in key decisions that affect their welfare and progress is vital.
Ikipita hiyo level, mtoto hajapata chakula mzuri, mtoto hajapata masomo mzuri, mtoto hajapata mtu ya kuongea naye, hiyo maisha ya mtoto inaenda kombo hadi mwisho.
Children continue to face violence, and for girls, especially girls, harmful practices.
They further pushed for tangible policies that ensure children aren't an afterthought in the budget process.
We want every child to be documented and registered, and for them to have free and equal access to these services.
The other challenges is the lack and access of information in regards to GBV prevention. We're supposed to engage them in drafting the policies that in regards to child protection, educating them on their rights in schools and also in the programs.
Similar calls were made at Mount Kenya University, where stakeholders push for a more supportive and inclusive environment for children, particularly in education and healthcare.
So we are talking of reimagining the child right and ensuring that the child is supported, given the education, given the medical support, given everything that he needs.
Because we do tend to find a lot of kids who are in the deep communities, or let's say in the rural communities, who are exposed to a lot of violation of their rights where they cannot be heard.
Leaders and policymakers will further petition to invest in empowerment programs that educate children about their rights and equip them with life skills. Isufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, the government and development partners have been urged to invest in family planning products and make them available to all women who need them to avert rising cases of maternal mortality. Speaking in Nairobi during African-led Alliance launch, an ambitious initiative to advance family planning and maternal health across sub-Saharan Africa, State Department of Medical Services Director Family Health Dr. Bashir Isaac said family planning prevents unplanned pregnancies and ultimately saves lives. The African-led Alliance launch brought together key stakeholders from government development partners, representatives of Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Senegal, Uganda, and Kenya.
That countries have developed and adopted at different levels, whether it is at the African regional level, whether it is at the global level. We have had commitments and protocols like the Sustainable Development Goals. We have had the protocols around the universal health coverage. We have had commitments like the FP 2030 commitments. We have had the ICPD program of action.
Because these goals are not having enough resources or given priorities depending on the country, and that is why you realize the policies are never being, we don't reach the optimum level in terms of implementation. And so that's why we are coming in as advocates to really make sure to untangle the battles or the bottlenecks that are not making us push the policies that are designed by the government.
High population of reproductive age. 75% of our population is less than 35 years. And they are all productive in terms of if they don't get access to these farm planning commodities. The number of unplanned pregnancies will be high. And therefore this will increase our mortalities besides the cost of taking care of these mothers delivering.
Congratulations, SASA Alliance.
And from family health to education, where Kiharu Member of Parliament and former Budget Committee Chair Ndindi Nyoro has called on the government to protect free primary education programs by ensuring they remain fully funded and accessible to all. Nyoro warned against sidelining essential services like basic education in the national budget, raising concerns about the growing burden on parents to fund services that were previously covered by the state. Njue was speaking during a public engagement in Murang'a town, which brought together parents and education stakeholders to reflect on key challenges in the education sector.
It was very disheartening to see viongozi wa serikali ati wanasema ati wanakuja kuongea na wazazi wa Kenya ati wazazi wakuwe wanachagia kulipa examinations. We want to request these leaders, please respect education in Kenya. Na mupatie heshima zile projects ama programs zimesaidia Wakenya wengi zaidi. Na tunataka tuwaeleze, sisi tukiwa pale bunge, we are not going to agree even one day where there'll be ati ya kikao ya wazazi na serikali ati wazazi waanze kulipa mtihani. Vile tumekuwa tukifanya hapo awali, serikali inalipa mtihani, waendelee vivyo hivyo.
From Murang'a to Kakamega County, where a section of residents in the county have supported the proposed establishment of a research and farmers training center by the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, KMFRI. Kakamega becomes the fourth county where the project is to be established after Kwale, Tharaka Nithi and Laikipia counties. Speaking during a public participation forum organized by the Kakamega County Assembly, the member of County Assembly for Lumakanda Ward, Bernard Mulama, said the project will boost fish farming in the region, which has over 6,000 fish ponds. The center will support Kakamega farmers with high-quality fingerlings, fish feeds, and create employment opportunities.
Ni mambo gani ambayo inafanyika katika ile inaitwa blue economy, uchumi samawati, ambayo ni sasa ni mambo ya kisasa.
Manufaa itakuwa nayo kwetu, itaboresha wale wakulima wanafanya ufugaji wa samaki, itaboresha kwa sababu watakuwa wanafanya utafiti, wanapatiwa ile breed mzuri yenye natakiwa waweze kuifuga.
Tutapata kazi na pia wanafunzi wetu watapata nafasi ya kwenda kujifunza kuhusu ukulima wa samaki na itatusaidia hata kwa upande wa afya.
Hii mradi inafaa kuwa owned by the people of Kakamega all the way from Likuyani to Matungu, from Navaholo to Ikolomana and Shinyalu.
The Kenya Society for the Blind, in partnership with MedPro International, has launched a free 3-day medical and surgical eye camp in Nairobi. The camp is delivering critical services to hundreds of residents to combat preventable blindness and promote visual health. Stakeholders at the forum said there is urgent need for resource mobilization to help address the menace. The initiative has seen 392 individuals screened, while 204 receiving reading glasses and 16 life-changing cataract surgeries, restoring sight to members of the community who had been living in darkness due to lack of affordable care. Data from the Ministry of Health revealed that 15 million Kenyans are at the risk of going blind.
We need to continue with this kind of partnerships all over the country so as to reduce the prevalence and the burden of blindness. The biggest causes of blindness in Kenya remain, number one, cataracts that are very easily to be removed, but when people don't know, sometimes these cataracts cause complete blindness.
There is now some traction from the government. This is because of some studies that was done last year that identified eye health as one of the key priorities. Currently, we are getting a bit of traction and support to get funding. However, it's still not enough. And that's why you'll find most of these services are lacking in most government facilities.
Kuna wengi sana walikuwa na effect kama mimi na cataracts na tulikuwa tumeshindwa hata kwenda kuilipia. Today nimepata hiyo services free of charge na tumeshukuru sana.
Macho niliumia March, ilikuwa Friday, kaweza kufika leo huko nikapata matibabu, nimesaidika.
Now, the Council of Governors has vowed to push for the removal of the Controller of Budget, accusing her of being hard-headed and stalling county operations. In a statement released by the Council's chair, Ahmed Abdullahi, the officials claim they are forced to travel from counties like Wajir to seek approval that could be done online. He cited 130 million in delayed bursaries that risk locking out students pursuing their studies. The governors have threatened legal action if she does not change course. They are also open to talks aimed at easing long-standing tensions between the two offices.
It is unacceptable. The biggest threat to devolution today is the control of budgets. There is no controller of budgets for county governments and controller of budgets for national government. Why we have to carry invoices and contracts and receipts all the way from Wajir and queue in her office for weeks to access money, I do not understand. And this is hell that every county government has been taken through.
Very well, at about 27 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for our first break. But when we come back on the Business Interactive segment, I'll be hosting the CEO of Tour Operators of Kenya, or TOSC. That is Cyprian Singombe. We'll be looking at leveraging innovation for sustainable tourism. That and more after this short break.
Say the earth without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you arts and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
"19 nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's saved.
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News, and many thanks indeed for keeping me company. Moving on, the county government of Machakos has prioritized payment of pending bills amidst financial constraints. Speaking at the Senate on Monday when she led a team from the Department of Finance to respond to audit queries on the 2023-24 financial year, Area Governor Wavinya Ndeti said her administration had cleared pending bills amounting to over 108 million shillings in the last 8 months. The county government of Machakos has so far submitted a supplementary budget to the county assembly for approval in order to curb arbitrary relocation of resources. Machakos Senator Agnes Kavindu is, however, urging the governor to audit genuine pending bills and pay contractors, as some have had their property auctioned due to unpaid claims after rendering services to the county government.
The county government has already submitted supplementary budget to financial year 2024-2025 budget for Machakos County Assembly in order to curb existence in instances of arbitrary reallocations out of the approved budget estimates.
Most of them are getting into depression. They are being auctioned by banks. I've called us severally because of such issues. I've called the finance severally. So kindly check and pay the people who are really in need.
Moving on, Agricultural Society of Kenya, ASK, Southern Nyanza branch has taken deliberate initiatives to, among others, transform its Kisii town-based exhibition grounds. This even as the county government hinted on several occasions about its proposed relocation to pave the way for the expansion of the Central Business District. Speaking at the grounds as its annual show drew near, Bathram Mudoka, the branch manager, cited establishment of partnership with key stakeholders to run the annual event seamlessly. The manager revealed the master plan for the impending development at the showgrounds was ready and could be aligned with the county integration development plan.
Kilimo ndio uti wa mgongo wa nchi yetu ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo tungesihi na kuomba, imeangazia mambo ya kilimo, sana sana mbolea, mbegu na vile vile magonjwa ambayo yanaathiri mifugo yetu. Vitas ambao tumealika mwaka huu ni pamoja na banking institutions, learning institutions, agricultural sector exhibitors, banking institutions, SACCOs, small and medium enterprises. Wao wote watakuwa katika maonyesho ya mwaka huu. Mwaka huu itafana kwa show ya maana kabisa kuliko vile ilivyokuwa mwaka uliopita.
Elsewhere in the business segment, more incentives are being initiated to make coffee farming lucrative, and Corporate Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya says the interventions are also included in matters elimination of middlemen. I'll be bringing you that report after we do this interview. And for now, as I had mentioned earlier, we are looking at leveraging innovation for sustainable tourism. And in studio is Tour Operators Society of Kenya, or TOSC, CEO Cyprian Singombe. Karibu sana, Cyprian.
Asante, thank you so much.
Yeah, and indeed, thanks for making time for this lively conversation.
Asante.
So first things first, I've never heard of Tour Operators Society of Kenya, and many Kenyans maybe do not know about it. Kindly, in a nutshell, what is your mandate?
Well, we've been around for a while. Mm-hmm. From 2015, we're actually celebrating 10 years now.
Oh.
We are an SME membership organization, mm-hmm. Others referred to as Tour Operators Society of Kenya, established back in 2015. This is a group of young people who came together as industry disruptors, mm-hmm. to see how they can. It's a membership organization. We are composed of well over 200 members now. Our members are basically tour operators, CEOs, directors running tour operator companies. And then we also have a special category of affiliate members. This includes people in the industry of hospitality, the hotels, you know. And then also we work with other agencies in government under KTB, under the Ministry of Tourism, to advance the tourism agenda in this country.
Uh-huh. And when we're talking about leveraging innovation for sustainable tourism, what are we talking about? I know there is the single plastic use in national parks.
Yes.
What are other policies or other interventions that you have adopted as a society?
Yes, Kenya as a country, speaking about numbers in tourism, we look at it that we are not where we should be. And as a society, we are keen on sustainable tourism, on how can we do our numbers better.
Yes.
The report that was tabled by the CSR, Ms. Miano, some 2-3 months ago, about our numbers 2023, then 2024, there was a slight improvement from 1.3 million, I think, in 2023 to 2.5 million in 2024. But we as a society feel that we should do better. Other countries that are surrounding us, like Rwanda, for instance, with a population of around 12 million, even geographically speaking, small, almost a quarter of what Kenya is. Well, it's not beat us in numbers, but we beat them by a few hundreds of thousands. Tanzania is coming out. So we ask ourselves on what can we do better in terms of blue economy, from reforestation. We work so closely with KWS on what you pointed. Kenya has so much. We are losing out in terms of our cultural values, you know, the Maasai, you know, our game parks, our game reserves. As a matter of fact, on 27th to 28th, we'll be in Kakamega. We have a program with the Kakamega County Government where they are showcasing other tourist facilities in sustainability, like bullfighting. We are supporting them, and we are keen to work with the county government. I heard you talk about coffee, for instance. Yeah. You'll be surprised that there are so many tourists inbound, we call them inbound tourists, our guests coming from outside, who has never seen a coffee plantation or a TV plantation. And they're just here at Kiambu. We're having a conversation with county governments. We are actually at the very advanced stages of drawing up an MOU with them on how can we market those unseen and exploited tourism facilities that are available in our counties. For instance, how many know that we have Kakamega forest? How many people do know that here in Ukambani we have unamwaga maji badala iteremuke inapanda kwa mlima? You know, there's so much, I mean, we can be able to do in all our counties. There's so much we need to impress. Our numbers don't look so good. Morocco, that is a leading country in Africa, with a population of 37 million, is having numbers of 18 million, where we are doing 2.5 million. And this is a huge industry that all of us need to play in as an industry. And in fact, I keep saying that if we do this better, we can even overtake agriculture in terms of revenue for this country.
Just like it was in the 90s. And I'm looking at how you are able to bounce back from COVID-19, because I have many friends who are jobless for a number of years. How are you able to bounce back? And looking at the numbers right now, are we where we should be, or we are on the right track?
Let me say we are on the right track. Of course, COVID, really, as you rightly put it, got a lot of people out of business. I remember TRA, which we work together, Tourism Regulatory Authority, which we work together as partners, which is a key regulator in the tourism industry, had a restriction that for you to get their license, you must have a physical office. I do know that after COVID, a lot of our members closed office. I mean, they could not sustain to pay rent. And we thank them. We had to have a conversation with them that issue these young people, issue these operators with the license as they pick up. So numbers have not been good, but I'm excited to say that we are bouncing back. And one of the key things we are doing as an association, we're having a conversation with Zoho, Triply, and several other tech companies. We want to embrace technology in running business. We are in a very advanced stage of developing a TOSC app, Tour Operator Society of Kenya app, where you can download it wherever you are in this world. I mean, whilst you are there, you're able to see our members, the hotels in Kenya. You know, there is one stop. I was just answering your question that we're trying to impress technology because dynamics are changing. We came up with serious lessons from COVID that you don't need to be there physically to run business. So what is this that we are able to do to keep going? Because we are business enablers. As a society, we don't make money, but our our members do. So we are creating that safe environment for them. And one of the things we are doing is creating partnership that can last from counties, from government. We work closely with KTB, I mentioned about that, TRA, KWS, all government agencies. And now we are going private. We are going private, not going private. We are also seeking partnerships in the players in tourism industry, but in private sector.
Yes, I know we have been talking about how you're leveraging even technology.
Yes.
And I'm looking at technology and the climate as well. Yes. Why is this? Maybe EV, we've seen the tour operators, the Nissans, the Land Cruisers, the buses. Have you thought of EVs, electronic vehicles? And another thing, this would also help in the conservation of the environment. You're having climate change. Are these some of the things that you're also exploring?
Yes, perfect. If we don't do this intervention, as you rightly put it here, we have a whole cordon. We'll talk about that. I hope you'll get another session. But we are impressing because even in our AGM, by the way, we have an AGM coming up in 2-3 days now. Key panelists we have brought on board is on how to make such interventions on the interventions they're making at, you see, this is a personal responsibility. We don't want to just make it look like it's an association thing, but how can you take individual responsibility by impressing all this all this technology to avoid us going back to where we've come from. Yes.
And I'm looking also at some of the policies that I remember, I don't know whether this is still working, where you guys plant a tree for every tourist that comes to Kenya, because we are also talking about climate change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is important. It's one of the campaigns that we've just embraced, where we are telling guys like donate a seedling. You can do that through, we are doing it through our website. And I just want to thank the president that we have a special day put aside for planting trees. If you go to other serious countries like our neighbors, like I keep mentioning Rwanda because they're impressing that. It's inculcated, it's a culture. When you are born, when you're brought up, even in school, it is in their syllabus, it's something you learn. So it's a good idea. We insist, and we do a lot of under CSR, corporate social responsibility. We have so many programs in tree planting, from schools to institutions to our game parks, and we're doing this in partnership with KWS as well.
I'm looking at tourists who visit the country, and the tourist attractions are scattered in all the 47 counties. What policy interventions have you or even county governments embraced to actually to lead us towards innovation? Because at the end of the day, the national parks and the game parks were controlled by the national government, but now the national government has started to release its grip.
Perfect question. What we're doing about that, one of the things that is hindering our numbers is exploitation of the facilities we are talking about. Some in the most interior parts of Kenya, you know, Turkana, you know, the most interior parts of Kenya. So one of the major intervention is infrastructure. We call upon the government, and we keep engaging that roads that are leading to these facilities that can attract tourists. What can we be able to do? Improve infrastructure to them, and then policies are also formulated. Magistrates is not an advolved function, but counties play a big role in coming up with rules, bylaws that can be able to govern. Another thing that has hindered growth in tourism industry is game park. You know, the taxes, the overwhelming taxes. For instance, we keep asking and requesting government that they need to review. For example, if you are in transport, in tourism industry, if you are in transport, you know, you have your Land Cruiser, you have your van, you'll be surprised that after getting the license that you pay for at TRA, NTSA will also be waiting for you, you know, to pay another license to operate as a tour operator. So we ask the question that why will you pay for all these taxes, and you are, you know, it's the same government, same agencies. Why do you need 2-3 licenses, for instance, to do the same thing? So those are the reviews we keep engaging them. We're writing to them to review. And park fee. Our Constitution 2010 is so specific on public participation. You can't literally pass anything in this country without due public participation in the spirit of our constitution. For example, the latest park fee was passed without involving the stakeholders, the players in the industry. So we are also engaging the government in the spirit of even the new finance bill that is coming up, that these park fees, to me, are punitive, they're quite high. And then if you have to make such radical decision, it's very important to always, even from what we learned from the Genesis, just involve the people, involve us in the industry. We are always available. We are phone call away to be when you're making these major changes that can affect, because we are so determined to make Kenya, the best destination attraction in Africa and the world. We have so much more than Morocco. I said Morocco is doing 17, 18 million. We are doing 2.5 million. Can you imagine, sir?
It's almost 10 times.
Yes. Can you imagine how many people will be able to employ? We'll be doing better than agriculture, as I put it here. There's so much you can be able to do if we come together. And then I want to also throw a challenge to you as a media house. Media plays a big role in marketing this country. And when you do that, you're also creating employment opportunities. So I'm also seeking opportunity to work with KBC and the tour operators on how can we market our country. Those facilities that have not been exploited. There could be so amazing things here, but who features that? Who takes it to the world?
Yeah, and on that part, I think, on behalf of the corporation, I can tell you that we are more than ready. Reason being, we've had a program that has done over 15 years called Magical Scenes.
Yes.
I hope you've heard.
Yes,
you've seen it by Mchuma Odim, which highlights some of the attraction sites and some of the challenges that you guys are going through. And especially, now that you are on your 9th AGM, right?
Yes.
What exactly are we looking forward to in this, and especially when you are tackling challenges that you guys are going through? Because you've said that COVID gave you some really hard lessons.
Yeah, COVID messed everybody up. Yeah, our AGM is happening on 20th. This Friday. Actually, we've already, as we speak, extended an invitation to you. We'll be excited to see you there. What we've done is, we are an ecosystem. You cannot be able to do this alone. We are bringing in, as I said, all the agencies in this field. From the airlines, KQ will be there. We're having the same conversation about sustainability. We're also having a number of ambassadors. The ambassador, for instance, of Barbados to Kenya, Alexander McDonald will be there as one of the guests. We have governors who have confirmed attendance. We have representatives from the ministry. We have the members of the Senate and Parliament showing up. This AGM is more of how can we leverage sustainability? How can we be able to work with everybody in this industry to be able to ensure that we go forth in terms of numbers. It will be a great conversation, and we'll really appreciate to see you there. We have, as I said, we have all these players there. We are going to ask ourselves hard questions. We are going to give our record on where we've come from, the challenges you've talked about, and where we see ourselves. In fact, this government can even do our numbers to 7-8 million before 2027. There's a lot of goodwill. People are willing, the society, we are there, the players are there. It's all about putting our efforts together, harnessing our efforts and our strength to be able to see how can we take this forth.
I'm looking at COVID years. So for 2-3 years, we were just at home. I want you to look into your crystal ball and look into 5-10 years down the line. Yes, indeed. I know you've mentioned that we are projected to maybe give Morocco a run for its money. It's doing very well when it comes to tourism. What do you see in matters innovation and tourism? As you wrap up.
As I wrap up, what I can say, one is to embrace technology. We are really moving fast in terms of digitalization. That's why even I think the government is so keen in digitalizing its services. We want to see a tourism industry where the government impresses the private sector, because that's the only way we can be able to move forward. And we are continuously, as an association, doing capacity building trainings, bringing in fintech companies to help improve the capacity of our members to embrace technology. It's not COVID, as you said. We are learning that you cannot just sit in an office and get clientele. We also have, like in Tosco, we have market days on Thursday, where we try to market our members, try to be a link between us and the international community. And this can be done. You'll be surprised that there's so much in this country. There are young people doing, maybe you might not know, there are tourists who come all the way to see birds. For instance, there's a company that takes you around to see the different types of birds in this country. You'll never find some of those birds anywhere in the world. But who knows about that out there? So that is why TOSCA exists, and that's why we extend this hand to you media that work with us this journey. There's so much you can be able to do to recover from COVID. People died out of depression. People lost jobs. We can be able to do so much.
Well said. And I'm hoping that the future is very bright when it comes to matters tourism. I have been speaking to Cyprian Singombe, who is the CEO for the Tour Operators Society of Kenya, TOSCA, as he mentioned, and we are looking at leveraging innovation for sustainable tourism. Many thanks indeed for joining us, and all the best, and especially at your AGM on Friday. My business editor is watching, so maybe he's going to send someone
we'll be glad,
on Friday. We'll be
glad to see them.
Yes, and also it's partnership. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right, let's cut to the chase and continue with business, where the Competition Authority of Kenya facilitated a release of 2.7 billion shillings to abuse of buyer power victims, who were largely smallholder suppliers between 2020 and 2025. To further enhance sustainability of supplier undertakings and reducing the risk of being exploited by powerful players, the authority has invested in a 45 million shillings forensic lab to aid in complex evidence analysis during investigations. Principal Secretary, National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto, opines markets are being distorted by cartels using AI and big data.
Working together with those in the trade and industry sector, we can see how much more to drive, because I think there is huge potential.
The beauty is that even the big players come from regulated markets, and because we are in competition space, we have an international competition network where we work together so that we are able to balance the issues of large companies and small companies in every sector, so that then we are able to balance the issues. This international collaboration enables us to exchange ideas, enables us to exchange best practices, enables us to exchange data, and then we are able to make evidence-based decisions that actually balance those aspects that you...
The national women's soccer team, Harambee Starlets, will face Uganda's Crested Cranes tonight in the second match of the Sekafa Senior Women's Championship at the Azam Complex Stadium in Tanzania. Coach Beldine Odemba's side is aiming to build on their strong start after convincing 3-0 win over Burundi in their opening game. Uganda also made a statement in their first match, cruising to a 5-0 victory over South Sudan. In other Sekafa fixture, host Tanzania, Twiga Stars are set to take on Burundi. The tournament is part of Kenya's preparations for the final round of the 2026 Africa Women Cup of Nations qualifier against Gambia. The Harambee Starlets are hoping to return to continental stage for the first time since their debut in 2016.
Kitu ya kwanza ningependa kumshukuru Mungu juu kuitwa Harambee si rahisi. Nilitia bidii mwenye nilikuwa kwa club. Kitu ya kwanza mimi nimecheza tu second leg na nilionekana. That's why coach Building pia aliniona na akanita kwa ikola.
Yule niliingia grao, nilijipatia ile confidence ya kusema nitoke na bao hata kama ni moja ya for the national team. Nilifurahia sana. Nilikuwa tu happy juu ilikuwa tu first time yangu kufunga bao.
Elsewhere, residents of Kichukwa village in Lunga sub-county, Kwale County, are demanding accountability from their county administration of their stalled construction of a sports stadium in their area. The facility, located near the Kenya-Tanzania border, now lies abandoned and neglected, far from its intended purpose of nurturing local talent. According to the residents, the project came to a standstill in the year 2020 after the contractor exited the site, leaving behind only a 4-door toilet, 2 goalposts, and the foundation of an unfinished changing room.
Alikuja hapa huyo waziri kwa foundation ya huu uwanja hapa. Siku hiyo alipokuja hapa yakazungumza mengi aliyozungumzwa. Tukakaa tukaamua kama kiwanja hichi kumetolewa pesa 38 milioni kama alivyosema alitangulia. Leo hii sasa tunashangaa. Wanadai kwamba hati wao kiwanja hiki kimetengenezwa kwa phase 1. Phase 1 iko wapi? Hakuna phase 1.
Nituletea mradi wa kiwanja. Lakini tunashangaa kiwanja kikuisha na watu waliondoa vitu vyao wakaondoka. Kilio chetu hiki kiende kwa Mheshimiwa Ruto. Tujue sisi watu wa Lungalunga tuko Tanzania ama tuko Kenya.
Uwanja ndio umeleta shida kubwa. Tumeambiwa kwamba paka saa hii huko uwanja umeisha. Hali ambazo ni za utata hapa kwetu, uwanja uko hivi hivi.
Wewe ndio rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa William Ruto. Tunakuomba kwa unyenyekevu ukae na gavana wetu wa Kwale ili aje aturekebishie hiki kiwanja chetu cha Kichukwa.
Moving on, the national para-volleyball team is set to report to a residential training camp this Friday at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, in preparation for the upcoming Africa Championship next month. According to Kenya Para-Volleyball Federation Secretary General Justus Katumo, Kenya is fully prepared to host the continental tournament, which will also serve as a qualifier for the World Championship.
For the first time, Kenya will be hosting the Africa Para-Volley Championship, which will be used as a qualifier to this year's World Championship, set to be held in October in the United States. The coveted African Championship, slated from the 1st of July, will be hosted at the Kasarani Indo Arena, bringing together competitive teams from Libya, Egypt, Morocco, South Africa, among others. The Kenya team will report to a residential camp this Friday.
There are 12 teams from 8 countries that have confirmed so far. We are engaging and we are making sure that we facilitate all the logistics possible for them to come to Kenya, and we are doing very well in that direction. So we are expecting, actually, so far everything is done, and we are just waiting for them.
The team will be going for the top honors this time around after the women's team secured a silver medal behind Rwanda during the 2024 Africa Sitting Volleyball Championship held in Lagos, Nigeria.
Men have high competition than even the women. Yes, we need to put a lot of effort so that they can be able to overcome the traditional barriers.
The men's team also demonstrated resilience with a notable 3-2 win over Nigeria in the opening match. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
My time is up, but allow me to mention that Chelsea opened the club World Cup campaign on a winning note after beating Los Angeles FC or LAFC 2-0 and in the United States. Many thanks indeed for joining us for this news, plus much more. Don't forget to check out our social media spaces. There are a number of news items that we are keeping tabs with. We will be bringing you a detailed report in a subsequent bulletin. My name is Njue, and Lensa Odingo has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. You have yourself a blessed afternoon.
So, you meet a couple at a party.
When you ask how they met, they answer, over a dating app. How often does this happen to you? I, for one, hear it all the time. These days, countless love stories start with a simple swipe. But for every good date, you might have to sit through a few pretty bad ones. Could AI spare us from those awkward first encounters? What dangers exist in the world of online dating? And do algorithms determine whom we love? Interested? Swipe right. Not so much? Swipe left. The dating app Tinder reports it has some 50 million active users worldwide every month. You might say the more options, the better. But Tinder fatigue has become a widespread phenomenon. Many people are sick of the endless swiping and the chats that lead nowhere. Enter Alexander Jadan. To combat his own Tinder fatigue, the programmer developed a bot to do the legwork for him. The program matched a staggering 5,239 women, held conversations with them and even arranged dates with 100 of them. That's how Alexander met Karina. And now they're soon to be married. She said yes, but she admits she was quite shocked when she found out that AI had initially reeled her in. Today, anyone looking to increase their chances can turn to artificial intelligence. As a ghostwriter, flirt coach,